Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here to Talladega Super Speedway as we're getting ready for the two qualifying races to see who will transfer into Saturday's race, rather, of the second season of the NASCAR Busch Series powered by the WRA. As you saw, the starting lineup for this race, Skylar Davidson will be on pole for race number one. Qualifying races will take place today here on a Thursday. Tomorrow afternoon, these 6 transferees from this race and the 6 from the other race, they'll transfer into the race on Saturday. They will qualify with the top 30. That will set our field for Saturday's Aaron's 312. This is to qualify to get in the Aaron's 312 here today. As I'm going to go take care of a VCE by myself. Here we go, 10 laps of racing. Daniel is here, maybe having some commentators in the booth with me. We're green at Talladega. We're looking for 6. It's been a while since we ran a super speedway race. The last super speedway race I recall on the channel, we ran all the way back at Coca-Cola. Good Lord. Has it been that long? Yes, it has. Again, we're looking for 6. No pit stops, so you got what you got in this qualifier. As Skylar Davidson will lead the field off at turn number 4. The start-finish line is in the middle, is after the tri-oval. It's not in the middle of the tri-oval like it is at Daytona when we were at for All-Star Weekend. And remember, Skylar Davidson was in Daytona a couple of weeks ago for the All-Star race. So she already knows what it's like in these sprint races. Sooney Sue in the 29 underneath the 55 of Mia Watts. Right now, the O2 is on the bubble, but we have a long way to go and a short amount of time for these drivers to get there. As Skylar Davidson looking for a key run in this race. She'll lead that lap. No points on the line, by the way, for these qualifiers. You got what you got. That's basically it. This is a 2.66 mile track. So these drivers know what it's like at Talladega. Of course, this is a short race. Here comes Futaba Sakura. That's Brady Columbus in the 16. That's Alexandria Van Dam in the 02. These drivers know what it's at stake here. Top 6, you're going the main event. Everyone else will not race on Saturday. For some of these drivers, they haven't been on track on a super speedway since Coca-Cola. This is really a very short 10-lap sprint. Not a lot of time in case we have a wreck. Not a lot of time for drivers to make moves. You better make it now. Now is the time to make your move. These drivers know what's at stake. There's the 20 card. Different driver this week. Dylan Cunningham will take over the driving duties for the remainder of the year, replacing Michael Brown for the rest of the season. Of course, Cunningham not going to be running for the points here in the Busch since he is a truck series driver. So Joe Gibbs Racing brought a good substitute driver, and so far he's doing a very good job. On the bubble is Ari Springer. About to put Erica Douglas on the bubble and possibly on the outside looking in. Halfway through this first race, Nathan Stapleton is up here. If you're those drivers on the inside line that start at the back and are still at the back, you better go now. 5 to go in this first race. Like I said, this is going to be a quick sprint races. Of course, cloudy conditions. Of course, it's going to be a different distance when for the 12 transferees from this race and the next race to get prepared for Saturday. And of course, for Skylar Davidson and others, even if they don't make this race, they got one more chance to make it this weekend. That would be the Cup race. We'll talk about the points. We'll talk about the drivers that we'll talk about that tomorrow afternoon when we have qualifying. As we're down to about to be 3 to go in this session. Ari in second, Margot Diaz, April Winters. That's Remy Crampton. Now Eric Stanbury now on the bubble. Brad Blackman about to be coming up. So we got 3 laps of racing to go in qualifying race number 1. Remember, 6 are moving on. Everyone else is going home. Jessie Art needs to make her move now. Time is running out. 3 to go in this qualifier. So these drivers know what's at stake. Important right now. Blackman's now on the bubble. Van Dam has now currently leads this race. You lose the draft or you come to pit road, your chances of making this race is gone. This is the only season or the only series that will have qualifying races because we have more than 42 cars here this weekend for Busch. April Winters on the bubble. We're going to come to the white flag in this first qualifier. One more time around Talladega. Cassandra Mills will now be on the bubble when she gets by. Violet Jackson, the 21. Remember, some of these drivers that ran Coca-Cola, they want to learn what they learned at Coca-Cola that they can apply here. As here comes the white flag. One more time around Talladega in qualifying race number 1, presented by Credit One Bank as always. Zero 1 on the bubble. Last time I checked. That's Claire Oliveras. She's trying to make her first Busch Series start of her career. How big would it be? And looks like she's going to transfer into the show. How about that for the Brazilian driver? The 18-year-old from Rio de Janeiro, as coming off a turn 4 down the trial for the final time, Alexandra Van Dam will win qualifier number 1 at Talladega. Who's transferring? It looks like the 16 got it. The 16 Brady Columbus has the final transfer spot. And again, no points on the line. Wow. How you like that for a qualifier? So Alexandria Van Dam, Violet Jackson, Claire Oliveras will make her debut. Caleb Hobbs, Brad Blackman, Brady Columbus are the drivers that will transfer into Saturday's race. Unfortunately, the drivers who will not make it into Saturday's race, they are Lucy Granger, Cassandra Mills. She's got one more race this weekend to try to make this weekend at Talladega. Thriller Tadwell, Billy Kitchen, Suni Sue, Remy Crampton, sorry. Mia Watts, Trinity Lee, Erica Douglas, April Winters, Eric Stanbury, Harrison Jenkins, Marco Diaz, Carolina Bradley, Jesse Art, Nathan Stapleton, Ari Springer, Leela Bakai, Jacob Foster, Shakes McDaniel, Skylar Davidson, Fataba Sakura, and Dylan Cunningham. Those drivers, unfortunately for them, will not race on Saturday. They have failed to qualify. So a tough break for those drivers as they will not make the show. We're going to take a commercial break, get qualifier number 2 on track for their 10 laps right after this. This is the World Racing Association's Multimedia Network. Cars are now rolling off for qualifying race number 2. As you see the grid over here, the left side of your screen, don't worry about 29th because 29th doesn't really matter. As we got Clayton, Huntington, Wolf, William Brock on the front row for this deal. Another 10 laps of racing these drivers are going to be doing. Really important for these drivers to get themselves a spot into the show and get ready for qualifying tomorrow afternoon. Pace car will pull off. Going to bring the field into the hands of Clayton, Huntington, Wolf. We had one Brazilian driver make it in the field. Will we have it? Well, we have 2. We're going to find that out in just a few moments from now. And here we go as the 28 cars coming on the deal. Qualifying race number 2 is green from Talladega as the official waves the green. We have another 10 laps we got to worry about. As Alex Romero will lead the first lap of this qualifier. 6 more drivers will join the 6 drivers that just transferred into Saturday's Aaron's 312. You'll see here on the Blue Hedgehog TV. That will be at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Number of drivers who have yet to qualify for a race this season. And remember, for some of them, as I talked about at the finishing results of qualifying race number 1, they still have one more race they will have to attempt to qualify. That is the Cup race. There's a couple of drivers that will be entering the Cup race on Saturday for qualifying. As we've just got an announcement that the 2 Brazilian drivers, Claire Oliveras and Beatrix Campos, they are going to replace Carlos Rodriguez and Michael Brown in the 37 and 44 respectively on Saturday to attempt to qualify for the Cup race. But unlike the Busch Series, that will just be pull day qualifying. You'll see on Saturday at 2 Eastern. Alex Romero in the 77. That's Anthony Ritchie, Jake Littletown, Clean Huntington Wolf, Shade Earnhardt on the outside looking in, trying to get into the transfer spot. And now he is in a transfer spot. Now that puts the 96 on the bubble, but that shouldn't be that difficult. As we're now at the midway point of qualifying race number dos. Want to remind everybody, as Shade Earnhardt takes the lead, this copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the World Racing Association for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast or retransmit or any other disseminations or the use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the World Racing Association is prohibited. Blue Hedgehog TV and the World Racing Association want to thank you fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. 5 down, 5 to go. 6 drivers are going to join the other 6 drivers that just transferred into Saturday's race. Everyone else will be having the long pack up and go home. Hazel Eveling, she ran at Coca-Cola earlier this season, trying to go 2 for 2 in the plate races this season. That's Jonathan Hoff in the 48. On the bubble, Addison Peterson. Well, here she comes. That puts the 90, who's this week, which this week's driver is Baby CJ, onto the bubble. Well, that will definitely change. And 88's blown up. Amy Hicks is blown up. And she is now going to be confirmed one of the drivers who unfortunately will not race on Saturday. And that really broke up that pack. Shane Earnhardt trying to hold him off as we're down to 3 to go. Addie just got put up on the high side. That's going to hurt her, as she more than likely not make this race. That's Madison Tull in second. And she is trying to go for the lead, and looks like she will. As looks like Marinelli Dillion's going to ready to lose the draft, so she will definitely be another one of those drivers who will be officially not racing on Saturday. As we're now on the last lap of this qualifier for race number 2. I'm getting ready to update some scheduled dates so that way it's taken care of. And looky there, Beatriz Campos. I just talked about we had one Brazilian driver make it. It's looking like we may have both Brazilian girls make the show. And Campos what is in the transfer spot. Looks like she's going to make the show. It was a header issue on the 88. It doesn't matter. Beatriz Campos is going to win qualifier number 2 at Talladega. And that means both of the Brazilian girls will race on Saturday. How about that? How about that? And now our field is set for the Aaron's 312. Beatrice Campos, Zach Foster, Lucky Prescott, Ellie Rose, Madison Tall, William Brock will be the 6 drivers that will join the other 6 drivers from race 1 in the show. Unfortunately, the drivers who will fail to qualify are Wanda McBride, Annie Winters this week in the 64. Anna McDowell, Abigail Lynn, Jake Littletown, Josh Harmon, Clayton Huntington, Wolf, Shane Earnhardt, Jonathan Huff, Sarah Costello, Taylor Valley, Addison Peterson, Carson Miller, Alex Romero, CJ Bracken, Shyla Ascroft, Jalecia Cushman, Anthony Ritchie, Hazel Evelyn, Sydney Ball, Marinelli Dillion, and Amy Hicks. Those drivers will not race on Saturday. Amy Hicks did not reach the conclusion of this race. So congratulations to the 12 drivers that will be making the show. They will be joining the 30 drivers in qualifying you will see tomorrow afternoon. Hope you guys enjoyed these 2 qualifying races. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. We showed your full finish results for both races. Now you know the 42 drivers that will take part in the Busch race. They're qualifying tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a Friday. Hope you'll join us for that. Now for our studio engineer, Caleb Hobbs. I'm Dee DeVos. Thank you for joining me and saying goodbye and good night from Talladega Superspeedway. Congratulations to the 12 drivers that transferred into tomorrow afternoon or on Saturday's race, the Aaron's 312. Coming up next, we'll rejoin the Sirius XM Satellite Radio programming already in progress. We'll talk to you again tomorrow on the World Racing Association's Multimedia Network.